All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to live coverage of Grand Prix Sydney, Round 5. I'm Brad David Marshall. I'm here with Marshall Sutcliffe, and we are watching a titanic battle here. Hall of Famer Paulo Vitor Damarosa against fellow Pro Tour champion Ivan Floch.
I want to talk to you about something in between games with regards to Paulo as well, by the way, BDM.
Okay.
I have an issue to raise.
All right. And
it's a conduit of storms there for Paulo.
Players coming right out of the gate here. Is that your pet
it is.
Ulvenwald?
That's my pet werewolf, Ulvenwald Captive. I love that card. I think it's really, really good. I mean, the cat's out of the bag, like people know, right?
Yeah.
But
everyone who's played green, I think, has had one of these.
Yeah. The question is just how good is it? Is it better than Prey Upon? Right now, I think it is.
So, Conduit of Storms, you see Paulo looking at the back where it becomes Conduit of Emrakul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it attacks, you get 2 colorless on your next main phase.
Yeah, and on the front side, it gives you 1 red. In
yeah,
next main
5
phase.
mana to transform them, 3 red, I believe. Yeah. Oh, here's It of the Horrid Swarm for Ivan Floch, and he's going full value mode.
That's the dream, right?
That's part of it.
Sacrifice my Exultant Cultist,
part
draw
of it.
a card, get a 4/4, get 2 1/1s.
I mean, I'm interested.
There you see It of the Horrid Swarm, one of the common emerge creatures in this set. So he was able to pay green and 3 by sacrificing a 3 casting cost creature, which was the Exultant Cultist.
Yeah, turn 4 is kind of the key turn for that. There's the Insatiable Gorgers for Paulo. Threatens a lot of damage.
Always a little scary. Play anything like, against blue here. Has not been able to attack with his Conduit of Storms.
Now, this has not gone super well for Paulo. And being in green and red means that Ivan is less likely to get punished for making big emerge plays like the one he made. Now, since he sacked the Cultist, he gets the card back anyway.
Yeah.
So the worst case is really not that bad in any scenario. But red, they're going to have to use a 5-mana removal spell to take care of a 4/4 here.
Yeah.
Green, they're going to have to fight something against it, and in which case it's a trade. So it's not great.
By the way, I don't know if you've been watching MasterChef.
Oh,
if you're a fan of MasterChef, you might also,
Well, I'm a fan of David Williams.
Yeah, well, he's at Grand Prix Montreal, too. We left him off our little rundown there. Worth noting. Okay, drag under.
Wow. Floch really taking it to the Hall of Famer here. By the way, Floch's on the ballot.
He is. And, a lot of people are like, wow. It felt like about a week ago that even Floch had no Pro Tour top 8s, and now he has 3 Pro Tour top 8s and a win.
Oh,
so,
man.
It the Hard Swarm gets in. I like, shockingly here, I like a even stack here. I like the green-blue.
Yeah, that is your signature color pair. Interesting to see how Paulo recovers here. The drag under pretty powerful there for Floch. It got him in for some damage and really set Paulo back a lot.
All right, in comes the Conduit of Storms. Gets a red mana's mana pool. You see him.
Yeah, no great blocks for Floch there.
So he's able to keep 2 mana up.
And he plays his own Captive.
He's playing green, so you know what his 2-drop is. It's an Ulvenwald Captive.
That's right. Yeah, so that was a nice one from Paulo, able to get in with Conduit of Storms and get himself some damage or some extra mana. Nabelgast Herald here.
Nabelgast Herald at the end of the turn.
Wow, Floch is just really firing on all cylinders.
5/3. He's just going to be able to rumble in with a bunch of creatures.
Yeah. He's 1 mana away from getting to transforming the Ulvenwald Captive here as well. Floch. Oh, his deck is just sweet. He's got Press for Answers in his hand. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on this one, BDM. I like his deck a lot.
So he's going to press the Captive, I believe.
It depends. He may want to keep the Gorger down as well, or instead, I should say.
Yeah.
And he's going to take him off of mana and a blocker here.
It's a double.
That's a lot of damage. 8. Ugh, that's half your life total, Paulo. It's not going well. He's got a Kessig Prowler, too.
I love that card.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Like, I would like that card just even if it didn't have the ability to transform.
What? No, dude, come on.
It's like a 2/1. I like a Falcon Wrath Gorger.
You got to dream bigger. I know I'm maybe have said it a few times already, but I love these werewolves. I love these cards. These things are just fantastic, right? I mean, look at all the options that Flock is going to have next turn. He can dump 5 mana into the Prowler, turn it into a 4/4 that has to be single blocked, or if he draws a land, he can use his mana to transform his captive next turn as well. And that becomes a 4/6 that can then attack. Not that turn because it would use he would have to tap it. But still, like, that's a lot going on there for Flock. And that's discounting the clue on the battlefield and any cards in his hand. I just think that these werewolves are fantastic. I think that they're super flexible. They affect the game the turn you play them, and then you can dump mana into them later and have a really big effect. Really? Are you
We talked about
Flock?
the Nebelgast Herald turn. Double
You asked me
Nebelgast.
if I'd ever had 2 of them. I've never had one.
So he gets 2 triggers here.
Wow. Okay. Nebelgast Herald doing work for Flock, especially the second one.
Yeah. There you see the Kessling Prowler we've been talking about.
Here's a clear shot.
Yeah.
That is an incredibly powerful card.
Yeah, and you see that he uses it to, before the Nebelgast Herald resolves, kill the original Nebelgast Herald, so there's not 2 triggers. But he's like, I just wanted to show you this card.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he maybe was fishing for one little piece of information, but he gave up a very important one. Paulo showing Ivan Flock that he has clear shot is information that Flock is going to use to his advantage. That clear shot is a type of card that can almost trivially get a 2-for-1 if your opponent is unaware of it. When you enter combat, you can block and then pump up your creature to make it big enough it gets +1/+1 to eat whatever creature it's blocking, and then also punch another creature and kill it. And that's why that's probably the best green uncommon. I mean, I just think that's one of the better cards in the set, clear shot.
By the way, both Paulo and even Flock teammates on Shadow Fireball face-to-face games. Or face-to-face games now, I guess it's just at this point, sorry. Here we see Dennis Rashid versus Seth Manfield. We saw John Finkel in the feature match earlier, who once had 2 Pro Tour top 8s in a season. And Dennis Rashid also had 2 Pro Tour top 8s and both the same Pro Tours.
I
It was
remember
just
that.
like, yeah, people forget.
Poor guy.
Playing this week, he's here on vacation. He's a high school teacher, I believe.
Dennis is?
Yeah, and not really playing as much Magic, but Silver Pro.
He's from Sweden,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, close to $50,000 lifetime earnings.
He's a really nice guy, too.
Seth Manfield, man, the list of accomplishments for him is so long. Reigning world champion.
I mean, he's just the best player going right
front
now.
runner for Player of the Year, multiple time Grand Prix champion, coming off Pro Tour top 8, just become one of the biggest names on Team East West Bowl, which is kind of the hottest team in the game right now.
No, Seth's the guy right now. He has been absolutely dominating tournament
five
Magic.
Grand Prix wins in his career.
Dominating. Yeah, and it goes back a long way, too.
Oh yeah, Daytona.
Yeah,
I was there.
Daytona 2006 or something?
He played actually against Paulo Vitor Damarosa.
Get out of here,
In that,
did he?
yeah, both
Fun.
bridge players.
Interesting. Interesting.
So you see 2 of our favorite cards in play for Dennis Rashid, Thermo Alchemist, and
And
Brazen Wolves.
Yeah, I like both of those cards a lot. Seth has no respect for either.
Yes, that's like Dance with the Devil, man. Seth-
and the dog as
Yeah.
it turns.
Devil Dogs.
Oh.
We need to do a flavor draft.
I'm getting
judge
hungry,
draft. We need
yeah.
to do a judge draft. Borrowed Hostility. Clearly a card that Dennis has to think about here, which could get pretty brutal.
Brazen Wolves, and then on end step, you see Dennis tap his Thermal Alchemist, and he will have verbally stated, "I will ping you with this creature."
Very reminiscent to Lobber Crew.
Yeah.
Some players may remember they sealed.
Yeah,
All-star.
I had a discussion with Neil Rigby yesterday, and he said he thought Lobber Crew was better, but I think Thermal Alchemist is right in there. You get a free activation because it only costs 2 versus 3 mana, and Lobber Crew was on a multicolored spell, which there were admittedly plenty of.
It was all of them.
Yeah, it was a lot of spells. But if you build the right deck around Thermal Alchemist, that thing can pile on the damage.
All right, so we're going to go back, though, to the Battle of Pro Tour Champions, Even Flock and Paulo Vitor Damarosa, who are underway here. And we see Even Flock tap 2 mana and cast, a Hamlet Captain.
Captain Hammy.
And then there's a
Howling Wolf there.
Howling Wolf.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be blocking this turn, is it?
Yeah, can't block.
Foul Emissary there for
Foul
Flock.
Emissary. Can he find? No?
No.
All right, it's fine.
He didn't whiff.
He didn't whiff. Good enough. But I mean, you always want to find the emerge card there.
Yeah, but if they miss it, I just assume they have it in their hand already. Isn't that how that works?
Yeah. In for 3 with the Howling Wolf.
Wow, that's an aggressive curve here. Insatiable Gorgers after the Wolf there for Paulo. He's got 8 power right now. It's turn 4. He's only cast 2 spells. Hello.
Yeah. Attacks each combat if able. It's like that's just tells you play correctly.
Yeah, that's what he was going to do anyway.
But it's not going to be able to attack next turn
No.
because Even's pressing it for answers. He does not have a 4th land, but he's able to get in with both his creatures and still play his Kessig Prowler.
Yeah.
It has a clue for next turn to go digging for his 4th land if he doesn't jump.
And he still gets his trigger there.
Yeah. All right. Even Flock falls to 14.
Weaver of Lightning there for
Plays
Paulo Vitor,
We've Lightning
which
Corgi.
is really good and really scary for Ivan Flock sitting there with 2/1 toughness creatures on the battlefield. He really has to, like, if Paulo gets to untap, and maybe even if Paulo doesn't.
It's a Weaver of Lightning. Also just kind of a formidable, blocker.
Great blocker.
1/4. Has reach, and it's, it's not a spider, so that means it automatically gets to eat 1/2/1 flyer a tournament. Because people just don't realize it has reach.
Well, it's also red. It has, like, the most stealthy reach ever.
Yeah. And then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it deals 1 damage. So
Yeah.
it's a bad spot for Even to be in right here.
Now, if Paulo has a 1-mana trick here, it could be really good for him. He can block, let's say, the Hamlet Captain,
Yeah, he's just
then
gonna
use the trick to make it big enough to eat it while killing the Prowler. He doesn't have it, but wow. You can see the power level there. It's got to be an instant or sorcery to trigger that Weaver, though. That's the key.
If you thought his Gorgers were insatiable last turn, how do you think they feel when they've had to skip a meal? Like, they cannot wait to untap and attack.
That's pretty good.
He's just like, no. All right. So still only
That's
3
pretty good.
lands for Even Flock. And target tapped creature is not going to untap next turn.
All right. He's got a Stitcher's Graph there as well. It's a card that I initially really didn't like, and I'm starting to come around on it at least a little bit.
How do you feel about Fogwalker?
Medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not in love with
I
it.
mean, it looks pretty sweet here.
It doesn't look bad here. A big dinner planned next turn, let's say. 'Cause
Yeah.
breakfast and lunch just got skipped.
Both players constrained on mana, even a little more constrained.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if Paulo can come up with an instant or sorcery here to take out that Prowler.
All right. Meanwhile, just keeps attacking with his wolves, Howling Wolves.
Yeah, the Howlpack Wolf's just going to keep rumbling. like you said, it encourages you to play correctly. Just keep attacking with the thing. Oh, he does have it.
Collective Defiance.
Wow, this is just savage. So it's going to do 4 damage to something. I'm assuming that he's going to escalate it once as well. To do 1 to the rest. Excuse me, to do 3 damage to Yvonne.
Yeah.
And then he's going to trigger his Weaver as well.
Yeah.
So he ended up doing 4 to the Hamlet Captain, 3 to even, and then 1 from the trigger. It's going to actually kill the Emissary. He's going to let the Kessig Prowler stay alive for a turn. That was a big swing. That was huge. Those cards are so good.
Paulo's down a game here, so he has to win this. 4th land for Even Flock. Both these players are just straight 2 colors. Yeah. So 2 mana, equips, and says go. All right. Wow, there's the clear shot.
Really?
Insatiable Gorgers. Yeah, fight your equipped creature. Weaver shoots your Prowler. And Even Flock says, let's go to game 3.
Well, that'll do it. We saw Weaver of Lightning basically take over that entire game for Paulo. I mean, he did need to have the spells to back it up, but still, it's not uncommon to have that happen, at least the first one, and he was able to leverage that to a pretty concise victory there over Even Flock.
That is a well-loved deck box from Even Flock.
Mm.
Wow. Meanwhile, back at the other table, Seth Manfield and Dennis Rashid deep in game 2. Seth Manfield up a game. See a Fiery Temper taking down a Brazen Wolves. And an
So
unsubstantiate
on the Flameblade Angel
on the
there.
flame. Yeah.
I'm assuming this is in the middle of some massive combat. I see a Fiery Temper on a Brazen Wolves. I see maybe a block happening somewhere in the middle
It
there.
looks like a double block on Pyrehound.
This looks complicated.
Yeah.
Manfield up a game here. Seth's 4-0 coming into this round, and we mentioned the GP race between the GP
Player of the Year race.
Yeah, between Brian Braunduin and Tomohiro Saito. They're both 4-0 coming into this round as well. Reed Duke took a loss already. He's 3-1.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got the outside shot, but he's going to need BVD and Saito to kind of stumble here.
Oh, there's Borrowed Hostility with Escalate.
So he's going to give it a +1/+1
+3
counter.
Oh, and a +1/+1 counter.
Right.
And first strike.
+3/+0 and first strike on top of all that other nonsense.
And it already has the tramples.
Right. So he has created a formidable beast here for Dennis Rashid to contend with, and it looks like it's going to go pretty badly for him here.
He's going to be left with just the Malchemist. Isn't that what it's called?
No, that's not.
Thermo Alchemist.
The Malchemist.
And Dennis falls to 9.
I wonder if Seth has anything else here.
Looks like he does.
Pale
Pale
Rider.
Rider.
Mm-hmm.
Discarding an Olivia's Dragoons.
Wow. So that's down to 10, but how is Dennis Rashid going to get 10 damage through with just a Thermo Alchemist?
He's going to need a lot of spells. I would
Yeah.
recommend chaining Metamorphosis together.
It's a start.
fifth land for Rashid.
Start things off by killing the Pyre Hound, and he's in a much better position.
Yeah, once you get even like one counter on the Pyre Hand.
It's already starting to look good. The second counter puts it into definitely good
Yeah,
camp. No, this is
you
not
need
looking good for Rashid.
So were you surprised the Pal Rider play discarding Olivia's Dragoons as opposed to playing Olivia's Dragoons and then maybe being able to play Pal Rider next turn?
I think that Seth recognized that he wanted to be able to attack into the Thermo Alchemist and get the maximum damage in. Also, if you look at the clock here, he's got 2 3-powered creatures as well as a 1/1. And with Dennis Rashid going down to 9, that's an important distinction. So I was a little surprised just because, like, Olivia's Dragoons is a real card here. But, I don't blame him for playing the bigger creature here. It just matches up better with what's going on. And there's that Flameblade Angel back on the battlefield from Anfield.
Somehow still has cards in hand.
Yeah, he does.
All right. So we're going to go back, though. We'll report back. We'll tell you what these guys do. But in the meantime, we have our match between Paolo Vitor Damarosa and Even Flock, and it is just
This is going to be
underway.
sweet. This has been a sweet
Wow.
one.
Okay, no wasting no time. Kestic Prowler
And Stitcher's
and
Graft.
Stitcher's Graft.
Yeah, Stitcher's Graft is really powerful. It's 2 to equip, and it gives a creature +3/+3, which is massive. The problem is if it attacks, it doesn't get to untap on its next untap step. And if Stitcher's Graft becomes unattached from that card, you sacrifice it.
Okay.
So you're kind of all in on this thing, and you get to attack every other turn cycle. The way that you can really abuse Stitcher's Graft is if you have a lot of expendable small creatures, right? A 1/1 token becomes
Sure.
a 4/4 that attacks. If you don't care about it, hey,
Yeah.
no problem. Or Vigilance. If you can give your creature Vigilance, or if it has it, then the Graft, the downside doesn't come into play because it never becost tapped from attacking.
Right. Foul Emissary was the play from Even Flock, who then found a Nabelgast.
Herald.
Yeah, Nabelgast Herald, and
Okay.
then drag under your Conduit of Storms.
Okay, this could be good. It's not a lot of power, right? It's only 3 power attacking here for Flock, but it starts to add up. Oh, Weaver of
boy.
Lightning. Oh my God. That was prey
Weaver of
upon,
Lightning, prey upon.
trigger, kill
Wipe
both of
out
your
your team, yeah.
creatures. Wow.
Wow, it's hard for a Weaver of Lightning to prey upon something just without the
Just to kill
without
it.
the
yeah.
trigger.
Oh God.
That's as good as it's going to get.
That's
wow.
gross. The only good news for Flock is that Paulo doesn't have a lot of power on the board to back that up with. It's not like he was like, kill both of your things, hit you
Yeah.
for 4. It was just go, but still, it's going to be very difficult to recover for Flock from that. Oh, no. Drew now Corpse Trawler? That's just food for the Lightning, the Weaver of Lightning. Bzz.
But if it doesn't die, it's a pretty good, carrier of the equipment.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
A reasonably disposable creature, as you mentioned earlier.
Yes, indeed.
Apollo thinking through his turn here. Prey upon and clear shot. You can do some pretty gross things in Apollo's deck with that Weaver of Lightning.
I love that card.
Oh yeah.
I saw the potential when I first read it, and then I played it, and I was like, oh, this has even more potential than I recognized. So good.
All right. So Apollo's worked it through. Plays his 5th land. All right.
Conduit of Storms.
Replaces Conduit of Storms.
Okay.
But still has 2 mana open. Can represent a number of different tricks.
Indeed.
Clear shot being an instant is also kind of terrifying.
It's what turns that card into a really good fight card. From that into like a 2-for-1 a lot of the time. The difference in an effect like that being sorcery speed and instant speed is huge.
There you get a look at Flock. See the pairings boards in the background. You know, as you get ready for the round to start, that is just a massive humanity behind him.
Oh, behind Flock there?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're right in the middle of the round here, so most people are seated and playing, but those little pieces of paper hanging, that's where you find out who you're playing against, and there'll be a crowd there, to say the least.
So if you're Flock, can you take the... do you feel comfortable at all equipping your Corpse Trawler here?
If I have something else to do with the rest of my mana, maybe, but otherwise, no.
Okay.
It's just more of a tempo thing. You don't really care if you lose the 1/1 Corpse
Sure.
Trawler that much, but if you
Well,
spend your turn worth of mana doing it, then it's pretty bad. Is he going for it?
Yes, he is.
Okay. I mean, because you can block, like...
All right. Says...
And he says, does that happen? Is lightning going to get woven? It doesn't.
All right.
All right. You could see the trepidation there. He
Well,
was not confident.
Pretty reasonable.
Absolutely. Take a look at Paulo. So I mentioned this earlier, BDM, but
Yeah.
when you ask people who the best players ever to play Magic are, right? They always start with the first two names.
Sure.
And then you'll get a few others. You'll get
Yeah.
a Nassif. You'll get a Luis Scott Vargas.
Yeah.
Those come usually...
Get a Bob Marr.
No, you don't. People don't say that.
Okay.
If you're talking about like literally the best players ever, right? Like I'm talking about the absolute best players ever. I do not hear Bob Marr's name in that list. Now, I'm not saying that he's not.
Sure.
He very well may be. But as far as the people that names, he's not on that list. Why don't I hear Paulo's name on that list every single time? Like
I feel like you do.
okay.
I feel like you do. I mean,
Like, is he underrated somehow? It feels weird to me, but like this guy isn't he just like the third best player ever, or
well,
in that top 5 at least?
he is absolutely in the top 5. I think, yeah, you know, quite possibly in that top 3. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what it is? I think that lull he had for about a season and a half before he re-energized last year. I think maybe people forgot. They just forgot.
Forgot about PV. What does he have? 10 top 8s?
He does have 10.
A win?
Yeah. Great ambassador for the game.
Very nice guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
He just kind of has it all.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Swift Spanner.
Okay.
Swift Spinner.
Swift Spinner. It looks to gobble up the Herald here.
Yep. He's
Oh,
like, yeah.
man. These 2-for-1s for Paulo
Wow.
are so hard to come back from.
And a Kessig Dire Swine.
No,
Oh,
the
no.
Thornhide Wolves,
That's
but
just the Thornhide Wolves.
whatever, equally boring.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the same. They look the same to me. All green cards look the same.
Oh, yeah. I actually, now I want to know what you think, BDM. So I'm not going to make you argue out who the best player of all time is, because I already know what you're going to say anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to make you say second, because there's only 2 names that go in that list.
Yeah.
But I want to know, before this round is over, number 3. You have to lock it in. And it can be Bob Marr. Look, if it's Bob Marr and you tell me it's Bob Marr, then it's Bob Marr.
I think that once you get past Kai and John, I think there's a scrum.
I know, and
then
I want you to.
and that scrum is to me Nassif, PV.
Is there more? Luis, 2 back-to-back top 8s.
Yeah, Luis, Bob.
Okay. So give me the name. You don't get to say there's a scrum there. I'm pinning you down.
It is because it's just
They're not
tiers.
tied.
There's no.
They're not tied with each other.
I'll say PV.
Okay.
Because
Yes.
because he's still going strong.
I like that.
Still
I
just
like
at the top
that
of his
answer.
game.
It's a great answer. We also may have just listed the top 8 list down the line or whatever.
Yeah. So there's press for answers. We tap the Brazen Wolf. Even has at 20. But looks like this game is really slipping away from him.
Transactionally speaking, Paulo is way ahead, right? Like he has had the better interactions. He's 2 for 1 to him a couple of times. But Flock's still here. He's got a nice little board state there, and Paulo doesn't have any obvious attacks here. So, yeah, he's okay. Chat says I was pressing you for answers, just like
you
Ivan
were.
Flock. I agree. Now, if Paulo loses this match, does he fall out of the third position altogether?
Yeah, it's all on the line here.
Round
it is
5.
all on the line.
GP Sydney.
It's like we'll be talking like round 7. It's like, remember when Paulo was one of the best players in the game? Not anymore.
What have you done for me lately? Well, I'll say he is fighting to keep that position because it doesn't look like he's going to lose this game, though it is certainly not over yet.
There's Exultant Cultist.
You mean the human wizard?
The human wizard, and there's a Hamlet captain.
And it looks like Paulo's dumped some mana into that conduit there.
So he's flipped it over.
It's a
Into the conduit of Emrakul. That's a 5/4.
And you get the 2 colorless mana when it attacks, and then at the beginning of your next main phase?
Yeah.
Okay. So mainly it's a 5/4. I mean, he might have somewhere to put that mana, but...
But, if you have a couple of these new werewolves with the expensive transform triggers, that 2 mana can, go a long way to getting your next guy flipped over.
Totally. Patrol there for Paulo. Pretty unexciting on this board, and we really have reached a bit of a board stall. No clean attacks for either player, which is great news for Ivan Flock because, again, he had fallen a little behind on cards in the middle part of the game, but Paulo wasn't quite able to capitalize on that. And that means that Ivan is going to have some time here to find his way out of it and maybe even pull back into the lead. It's a good game. Oh, I love that guy. Ingenious Scab.
Yeah, prowess, a little bit of water breathing.
Water breathing. Oh, that's nice. Water Courser has water breathing. Nothing from Paulo there.
Yeah, you got to have bubbles come out when you're water breathing, so that's why you lose a little toughness. Oh. Uvenwald Observer there.
Observer, yep.
Big 6/6.
Now, how many creatures? Let's see. He's got the Thornhide Wolves, and I suppose the Corpse Trawler also is a 4/4 here. When those die, they draw cards if the Observer's still around, which it will be in this matchup for the most part. So this could get kind of interesting. This is a way that Flock can actually pull ahead a little bit if he can get his creatures into combat, have them trade, and then he gets a card back. That's a way you can pull ahead. The problem is, I think that from Flock's side, the board is so gummed up that he doesn't like the trades. Like he's valuing the trades that Paulo can put together less than a card, and that means he's just going to stick back for a while. He also may just start jamming the Observer.
Yeah, or just start jamming the Trawler there.
Yeah, he decided not to.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, maybe next turn. Maybe he wants to attack and show a little open mana before he does it.
Okay. Have a trick up, have something available,
Like
prevent
right
a
now
double block.
he can block and draw a card with it.
Yeah, I mean, I was assuming that he would attack with it because right now it actually does have good attacks. I wouldn't call them great attacks. It's just trading for like a 3-mana creature on the other side, but hey, you're drawing a card. Of course, the downside to that plan is that Paulo could be like, sure, I take it. Right? He drops down to 9, and then your Corpse Trawler's now out of... here's Clear Shot.
Wow. So he takes down the Observer, gets to draw a card, shoots the Scob with the Weaver.
Okay. And he's going to attack with the 5/4 there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to remember that Clear Shot is not fighting, it's punching.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So there's no damage on it right now, and it does get +1/+1 as well, so it's a 6/5. Flock is tapped out currently.
Wow. Wow. And this is just...
He's just losing both of the creatures.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great exchange for Apollo there.
Not bad. I mean, Flock drew a card off of the Exultant Cultist, so I think he says, sure. I mean, look at what he lost there. A 1/1, a 2/2 that draws him a card. I don't think he minds that trade at all. This has been a sweet game. Like, these stall outs are tough to navigate, and we get to see two excellent players do that.
All right, Even Flock, what do you have? He's been holding back at least a land a turn here.
He's got 5 cards in his hand.
Just like, I'm not going to just play all these lands out of my hand. Just like give you more stuff to think about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got 2 lands in hand right now, so he's definitely been holding them.
Is that an Ulvenwald Hydra?
Oh, he's going to equip. And attack. Attaboy. Oh. Play a land first?
Yeah,
Then
okay.
attack. I wonder where that signals to Paulo. 5 mana. Maybe it's just that he wants to try to do
He wanted
things.
an extra island for water breathing on the Scob.
Sure. Yes, totally.
All right, so he pumps it once, leaves 4 mana up.
That's a Daring Thief?
Identity Thief?
Identity Thief, excuse
Yeah.
me. Interesting. This is the first time I've actually got the chance to see this card in action. I haven't drafted it yet.
So Identity Thief, whenever it attacks, you get to exile a card,
A creature.
and Identity Thief becomes a copy of that
Mm-hmm.
until the end of the turn, and then you return it to play. Gaia Reach Bandit for Paulo. So he's the deck you love here, right?
He is.
Yeah, all werewolves all the time.
Yes.
So into the Hard Swarm for Even Flock. There you get a look at Identity Thief.
So what's the best thing he can turn it into here? It's interesting because Paulo's board is actually pretty flat as far as that goes. It's like 3 mana, 3 mana, 3 mana, 3 mana, 3 mana, 2 mana, 4 mana creatures, right? So they're not, it's not like he has some huge bomb on the
By the way, he
battlefield.
just paid full price for his it.
Oh, he did? Oh, yeah, sure. Just tap out for it.
Just tap all my mana. All right.
And that means that these werewolves are going to
Wow.
transform.
Yeah, Paulo says go. Transforms the Gyre Reach Bandit. Transforms the Kestic Forge Master. This game is a slug bite. In comes the Scob. Was that supposed to untap?
Yeah, I think that it was last turn that he didn't
Okay.
attack when he cast It
Oh,
of the
yeah,
Horde
yeah.
Swarm,
Yeah.
and then now it's untapped
Yeah,
again.
you're right. All right.
Is this a chump block here from
yeah,
Paulo?
Yep. Just puts the patrol in the way.
Okay.
More land.
Paulo not wanting to risk double blocks here, it seems. Certainly doesn't want to let it through.
No.
Would die.
You can pump that well within killing Paulo range. All right, 2 mana.
And there's my Ulvenwald captive, my little buddy.
Oh, and it
It's gonna
transforms
transform immediately. Yep.
Because of the Gyre Reach.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. How is Paulo going to get through this board, though? What a mess.
Now, Brazen Wolves is a start, right? Yeah, in come the Wolves. Leaves his Howlpack Wolf back.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, too. He's forcing the action here, making Flock do something. Remember, Flock does not get to attack with that Genius Scob next turn. And he's got a lot of work to do, does Paulo, with Flock at 20 still.
Flock's still at 20.
Yeah.
It looks like Thornhide Wolves are going to step in the way of the Brazen Wolves. And looks at his hand. This is like he also has a little bit of room to just take some damage here and keep his team intact for a crack back.
It's true. The tough part is that he's facing down that 4/6 now. The old 2-mana 4/6 there from Paulo. Uh-oh, here comes the action.
Yeah, there is a lot of toughness back there. You see Paulo tap 3 mana.
Is this clear shot again?
It is another clear shot.
Goodness sakes. Wow.
Did you see him? He's just like, all those things are dead. I just pointed at a
Yeah,
bunch of
so
stuff.
what he's doing is he's using the Weaver of Lightning to take out an insect.
Yep.
He's using one of his werewolves to punch the it. And then that werewolf is also going to survive combat. So that was a massive swing for Paulo.
And even takes a little
He
damage.
played two
17.
creatures this turn, though, or 2 spells, excuse me, so he does need to transform these back. But that, Flock's still at 17, so it's not like he's almost dead here, but that was a big hit for Paulo.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 2 clear shots and a Prey Upon
Game.
that have all triggered Weaver of Lightning. So he's just gotten maximum value out of all that.
Just saw Owen Turtenwald walk by.
Along with Pro Tour champion Brock Parker.
Yep. Pantheon's here.
Yeah, Pantheon's here. Room is filled with stars. Australian Magic community, quite a buzz about it.
Looks like we've got a little under 5 minutes left to go in the round.
These guys are pressing up right against the clock. All right, So Identity Thief attacks, exiles the 4/6, so gets it out of the way.
Which is kind of cool because it will come
It
back,
becomes a 4/6
transform
itself.
back.
And now, what does Paulo do to block here? He just throws everything. He's like everything in the way of the 4/6.
What is the worst thing that could happen? He says,
and
that worked out.
and all
very
Paulo
well.
loses there is the Weaver of Light.
Yeah, which has done plenty of
It's
work.
done its work. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go home.
You had a good one.
Good day. Good day at the office.
Hit
buddy.
the showers, Weaver of Lightning. That was really nice.
All right.
And, Paulo kind of had to hold his breath on that triple block, but there you go.
All right. Gaia Reach Bandit will not be untapping. Fog Walker locking it down. All right, and there your Uvenwald captive comes back. Front-sided.
Yeah. Now he does have plenty of mana to transform it again.
But anytime you make your opponent just tap 7 mana to get back to where they were, you're pretty happy.
Yeah, especially if you're playing blue. Well, that's exactly what happens.
And he attacks.
And I think Flock's just going to take it here.
Yeah.
No good blocks, and he's got plenty of life total to give here.
But that means Paulo's werewolves are going to transform. Because he did not play any spell. He took the turn off to transform his
Which is an interesting
captive.
interaction between werewolves of the
Yeah,
of both sets.
I like that.
I do too. I've noticed that already too.
Wow, that is a lot of land in play for Even Flock. 10 mana. Does he have anything to do with it? Gets in with the Fog Walker. Fog Walker, of course, has Skulk, so. Oh, look at the, and then just.
Mockery of Nature there for Flock.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it has a target, but it's still a 6/5. It's a nice draw. He just hard cast it. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice
Just
draw
like-
for him.
I've got all this mana.
He now has the biggest thing on the battlefield. So that was Flock pulling back in the lead as after Paulo had chipped away at his resources, and it looks like Paulo's out of gas
Wow.
just playing a land for the turn. Just a pair of lands in hand for
Still
Flock.
2 more lands in play. And the lowly Fog Walker just nibbling away.
Just doing work. Punishing Paulo for having sweet creatures.
Skulking past them. It looks like a couple of cards in hand for Paulo that are not lands. He's got 4 cards. I see 2 spells, 2 lands. Can't quite make out what they are. Oh, Dance with the Devils.
Okay. That is a way he can deal with the Fog Walker.
Yes.
Double block. One of them dies, then it pings it, and he kills it.
Yeah.
So he actually ends up with the devil left over after that transaction, too. Is there a Collective Defiance in hand for Apollo? No. What was that?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a red spell. I can't make it out because he keeps...
Yeah. Stitchwing Scob for Even Flock, so now he's got...
There might be an Alchemist Greeting.
Some Game in the Air. Also a card that may be why he was trying to hold back lands earlier. Yeah, because they're pretty useful for him later in the game to return his Scob.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is an Alchemist Greeting in his hand, by the way. That's going to do 4 damage to a creature for 5 mana, so it's a
All right.
possibility.
Devil comes in, takes Flock down to 12. Doesn't want to block because he'll just lose his Scab.
Stitchwing Scob. A key threat. The spinner's still sitting there, though, which can trade off for it. But Flock can really be rewarded for having kept those 2 lands in his hand this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. Like, yeah, I'll kill your Swift Spinner. I'll bring it back. I'll attack next turn.
Yeah, just keep chipping away.
Draws a third land. That looks like someone just
maybe turns coming in here.
Are we going into turns?
It feels like this is turn 0.
Okay.
Yeah, our spotter Neil Rigby confirms.
This may be a drawn match.
This is turn 0.
Yeah.
No, I mean, look, all Ivan Floch needs to do is get in twice with that Scob. Can he do it? Actually, and even once if he wants to go for the equipment.
Sure. Easier said than done, though.
Indeed. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him to get through that Alchemist reading as well.
Basically playing for the draw here.
I think so. I mean, he does have a lot of power on the battlefield, but it would take something like a Magmatic Chasm or some blowout card like that.
Here comes the Scob. Yep.
Trade.
Put the spinner in the way.
And then Floch's going to just buy back the Scob here. Was that a Galvanic Bombardment that was drawn for Paulo? Because if that's the case, then he's basically locked up the draw.
Right. Okay, so 2 cards. Here's the Scob. Now he can equip and try to kill him.
And he can try to kill him this turn. This is turn 2. He actually does have another turn.
Yeah.
But
he'll get turn 4 as well.
It's just tough because if this works, then it's just game, right?
Here you go. Moves
and
it.
Bang, that was Galvanic
Bombardment.
Bombardment, and that's what he needed because that was just going to kill him. God, how insane is that? Paulo just drew that.
And
it's
so
interesting.
The equipment doesn't successfully leave the Scob, so it doesn't become. He doesn't have to sacrifice it. It attempts to move, and it's nope.
Looking like a draw here,
too tight. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to try one more time.
Okay, so here it comes back again.
Turn 4.
This is turn 4. This is the last turn that Floch gets. Is it going to work? No, he needs instant speed way to interact here.
Loses his Scob.
That's
attacks.
6. And he wins! Ivan Floch takes it down.
1 turn to spare.
Wow, what a game.
Even was ahead on life total that whole game. Paulo was ahead on board position for most of the early games. He just kept coming out ahead. 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1. Weaver of Lightning just doing great work for him. His Prey-Upons and his clear shots just looking, fantastic. But that's it here for round 5. We'll be back with a little bit more Magic right after these messages.
Friday Night Magic is your local hangout where everyone is welcome. Gather with friends at your favorite game store every Friday night. For more info, visit magic.wizards.com/FNM. Up your game with Ultra Pro Magic the Gathering accessories. Find the best Magic art on card sleeves, deck boxes, playmats, and more. Visit ultrapro.com to learn more and find a retailer near you.
Hello and welcome back. I'm